Hey folks, welcome to Helen Roscoe Yoga on YouTube. I hope you're well. This practice today is a shortened version of my kind of limbering warming up practice. I recorded one a few days ago and it's about 15 minutes long. So if you have a good chunk of time to explore this kind of limbering process in your day, then I'd recommend you go to the slightly longer version. But if you just want a quick kind of route into that before you take any other posture exploration or any other practices within my archive, then maybe this one might be better suited for you. Okay, so we're going to start from standing, or if you're not able to stand, you could take this from a chair. So find a position where you can get both feet on the ground, either from standing or seated in a chair, and just take a few moments to check in with yourselves. Invite yourself to have a little shake out, maybe wobble your head, your feet, sigh the breath, shrug your shoulders a few times, and then bring it back to a stiller place. Just notice what you're feeling today, notice what you're experiencing in your body. Notice your breath. And any thoughts passing by, just let them occur. Try not to get involved with the narrative, just let the thoughts pass by. And then come back to yourself, your feet on the ground. Anchor down through the feet. And then start to shift them so that they are wider, so they're about a shoulder distance. If you're standing, a little bend in the knees. If you're seated, just have your knees in the same plane as your feet if you're able to. So they're a little bit wider than hip distance. And then I'd like you to take the arms away from you and invite a gentle sway around the body. Keep it low to begin with, so the arms are just lifting up and away. You might like to sigh your breath out with your exhalations here. And just sense that you're able to release a little bit into the movement. So there's nothing rigid. And if you do experience rigidity, just see if you can bring a little bit of softness there. Or maybe consider what it is that's maintaining the kind of rigidity of your shape. So if you have stiffness or an injury, you might be harboring that in some way through your movement. So I'm bending each knee on the side that I'm moving towards and just allowing those arms to get a little bit looser. Rotation for your hips, your lower back, your shoulder girdle. And we're going to bring in the arms just to move away from you a little bit further now. So out to the sides and more. It's almost like those seeds that fall from the sycamore tree, I think. Do correct me if I'm wrong. And they're like little helicopter seeds. And your arms can just float out a bit wider and then wrap them around you. Let the hands start to come in around your waist so the elbows bend. And then what I'm going to add is a little heel raise. So then I move as if from the feet. And then a little bend of the knees in between. So just starting to invite a bit more shape change along the legs, bending, straightening the legs. From a chair, you could tap into the feet. So as you rotate yourself around the chair, then tapping the heel, lifting a heel. Okay, and then we're going to go a little bit further. So you move up towards the shoulder region. And maybe we're going to start to involve a bit of a peek over the shoulder on the side that you're turning towards. Perhaps the knee bend gets a little deeper, a little greater. Breath flowing freely. Nothing forced here, nothing controlled with your breath. Notice what you come across as you look around the space. And then maybe see what it's like if you close your eyes. Just see how that changes your balance, your perception of balance. A little less grounded through the feet, maybe a bit more sway. but it's something to experience. Okay, and then I'd like you to just once or twice more go through this action. Maybe really let those arms swing out wide, and then start to bring it back down through the journey of the body. Around, around, around. And just gradually the movement gets a little bit less, and you're coming back to the very beginning of just kind of observing the knees bending, the hands just gently, gently now coming towards a sense of stillness. Breathing in, lift the shoulders up. Breathing out, release the shoulders down. Okay, have the long edge, the short edge of the mat in front of you, and then feet are a hip distance, and just step one foot in front of the other. This time we go for arms raising, arms lowering, and as you take the arms up, you lift your back heel, and the back leg becomes straight. As you lower the arms down, you roll onto the front heel, and the front leg becomes straight. So playing between that motion forwards and backwards, just warming up your back here. Warming up your arms a little bit further, the front of the body as well, the sides of the body and your legs. So everything, your feet. Okay, and just continue with that. I'll show you the chair version. Just warming up that body really gently. So you have one foot slightly ahead of the other, and the arms lift up. And you want to be on the edge of the seat. As you take the arms down, a little bend forwards if you're able to. Sliding that front leg from being bent to straight, so you can still get a little bit of a stretch there in that front leg. And obviously if you're feeling a little bit off balance, then you might like to use a chair or put your hand by a wall and take the same movement. So you just have that extra support in place for your balance. Sometimes it can be useful to hover at one end, take a breath in, wriggle the fingers, and then hover at the other end, let the crown of your head go down. And then you're going to come up, step your feet together, and then step your other foot forwards. And the same practice here. So notice what's happening from one side to the other. Arms lift up, arms swing down, again keeping it quite loose, wrists floppy, fingers and thumbs floppy, front leg moves between rolling onto the heel, stretching through the hamstring as you lower down to stepping forwards and lifting up with the back heel as you take the arms up. And you're just working within your own range of movement here. Make sure the hinge is at your hips and not rounding in the spine, flexing the spine, although you might find you're able to towards the end of the movement, but it just wants to be intuitive. Whew. Okay, a little bit of a hover at the top if you'd like to, and then a bit of a hover at the bottom. Into that forward bend. Bring yourself up, step your feet together. Take a few moments. A little sway from one side to the other. As you breathe in, lift your shoulders up towards your ears. And as you exhale, sigh the shoulders down. Take a few moments to notice how you feel. And then I invite you to take this little sequence into another practice, if you'd like to, maybe a posture, or use it as a kind of movement break in your day. Okay, thank you very much for joining me. If you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and please do leave any comments or suggestions. Okay, thank you.